Insecure is back on HBO, created, of course, by and starring by Issa. Well, we had a conversation with her, and she shares her feelings after the first show that aired and how social media showed her some love.
It was surreal, and it was interesting because, like, the show came out 2 weeks earlier, you know, just for, like, the pilot did, and I was nervous about that because I was like, I want the Shonda stuff, you know, I want that, you know, I want to have everybody watch it at the same time and experience it at the same time. But even that early release and seeing people watching it and talk about it, it was nerve-wracking. I remember I was in New York at the time, and I was just glued to social media, like, what are people saying? What are people saying? Do they like, oh, she don't like it. She don't get it. You know, just going through it. And then the night it premiered, that was just something else entirely. Like,
see, I wouldn't watch the 2 week.
You wouldn't have watched the 2 week?
No, because, and it's weird, I get advanced copies.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
I want to watch it with
I literally
people.
Want to experience it in that moment. With other folks.
I love the community watching, and that's what I love about the week-to-week viewing, like, as opposed to the binge watching, because it takes away the communal experience. It takes away, like, people talking mess about it, people reacting live, and that was everything. And the finale, when that hit, that was like something I had not seen before.
So we'll get to that.
Okay.
But so for the first night, you're watching the reaction, you're seeing the whole deal, and the name of the show is Insecure, and you're sitting here going, okay, she tripping, or dude, what's wrong with you? Or
we had screens. So the writers and I watched it together. We did like a friends and family viewing, and we were at a Microsoft lounge, and it had screens. So we put up like the hashtag screen. We had the unofficial hashtag screen, and it was just screens in the room. So we were all like drinking and just watching the feed live, and of course the episode playing. So it was just like you just got to see people's reactions in real time, and you know, them either loving it or being mad at characters already or cringing with us or sometimes clowning or disliking it. But it was just cool to just be able to see people react to the show live, and to think of how long it took to get there. It was just so satisfying.
And that's why I think what I often focus on. I said this when I talk to Common. I said it amazes me when people, and I experience it as well, like, oh man, you hit it. And you go, whoa. I don't think you understand. This thing started 34 years ago, 14 years old, communications high school. This wasn't, I woke up. I talk about all the time, Bishop Jakes. Folks are like, Bishop Jakes, and he's preaching to all these different people. I'm like, no. I need you to go back to West Virginia. When he was digging ditches. And so, do people really? So for you, how do you get people to understand that this was a grind?
I let them find out. I'm not mad at people thinking that it's just an overnight, you know, situation that happened or overnight success. If that's what you need to believe for you to do this yourself and for you to have like the feeling that it's attainable for you, then great. Like I don't ever feel the need to tell people like, oh, this is what it's taken, unless you ask or unless you question. Like unless you like, you know, try to come for me and say, you just got here, baby, and that's when I'll, you know, like, don't try me. But I really focus on the now, and I know that, you know, I've been doing it for several years, but I have a long way to go. I have a lot to learn, and that's the most exciting part, like where else I can go from here. And now that it feels like, you know, this project's underway and it's happening, I'm working with great people, I'm just like, what's the next step? What else can I do?
Talk about the importance of right place, right people, right time.
That is everything.
Because this wasn't your first network deal.
It wasn't my first network deal. It wasn't my first web series that popped off before the network deal. Like, it's always, you know, I'm very impatient and I can be impulsive. And so when things don't align with my timing, when I think they should happen, I get frustrated. And it's taken me so long to realize, like, just what you said, there's a time for everything. Sometimes you could be prepared all you want, but it's just the opportunity isn't there. Or sometimes you can plan and do all the things right and still get rejected. Someone might not understand your vision. And so for me, in some cases, that's consisted of being like, oh, you telling me no? Okay, well, I'm about to find this yes. Oh, you close the door? Well, I'm about to find this open door or make this door. But sometimes you just have to accept that it's just not the right time. And for me, that just involves creating another project or trying to find a different direction. Because I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing no.
I remember when you had the ABC deal, and folks were hyped.
I know, I was too.
Then all of a sudden it doesn't materialize. But then I also remember when Tyler Perry had an ABC deal. And when they said, can y'all hold off on all those Jesuses?
Ooh.
And he said,
nah.
This ain't for me. And bounced. And folks, yo, do what you're doing. But he understood, no, if you're gonna limit me, I know me.
Right.
Talk about that, because it's one thing to get the deal, but still not materialize into the project.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. And it's the hindsight of 2020, I thought I was ready because I'd been working so hard and I was like, this is my shot. And I had, you know, a great group. I was working with Shondaland, and they were the most patient people ever in terms of helping me to transition from the web to television, because I had never written a television script before. But I think because it was my one shot, I was so eager to please that I lost my voice in the process, and I was just like, yeah, I'll make it work. Like network notes, yeah, I'll make it. And I didn't know what I was trying to say.
So you lost you.
I lost me because I thought this was my only shot and I needed to please. And I forgot like why I had been chosen to do this in the first place, that they wanted my voice. And so as opposed to saying and then being firm in my vision and knowing what I wanted to say in the first place, I think I was just easily malleable, and it showed. You know, what I turned in at the end just wasn't really me. And I was so devastated when they passed on it because I felt like I blew my chance. But timing, you know, when that door closed, HBO door opened, they were like, what do you have? And I vowed like, oh, I can't let this happen again. I gotta like, you know, I gotta know what I wanna say. I have to have my voice and make sure that voice is strong.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.